It's Wellness Wednesdays. It's Wellness Wednesdays, and I've switched topics again. I promised I was going to talk about exercise and mental health today, but based on the events of the last week or so, is my camera focus? There we go. I don't know why my hand makes the camera focus. That's really weird. But anyway, based on the events of the last week-ish, I'm going to talk about resilience. And because I think we have to do a check on what it means and, what it doesn't mean. And this is going to be kind of quick because I'm recording this really fast in a very busy day. I had to go to a medical specialist appointment in the morning, come home. You notice I'm wearing a ton of makeup right now. I got to cover the Marvel Avengers station experience down at Yorkdale shopping center with all like the costumes, and they've got these displays, and they've got like Ultron's body and a big statue with Thanos, and my favorite thing in the whole thing, the Hulkbuster Iron Man armor. That was awesome. But yeah, I had to shake off like everything that's been going on social media and YouTube and everything like that, and go do stuff for a music YouTube channel. So I had to go through a bunch of videos and everything like that. And that is something that takes practice. I've got very, very, very good over the years at sort of compartmentalizing and, putting things in a box. Feel bad about it later if you want, but, put it in a box, take it out when you have time to feel it, and go do your job. And that doesn't mean I don't deal with it. That doesn't mean I'm in denial. It's just I have really, really, really worked on resilience. Now, what does resilience mean? Resilience doesn't mean you don't feel things as strongly as other people. Resilience doesn't mean you just go numb. Resilience means you know how to process your emotions in a healthy way so that everything doesn't just build up and tear you down, right? It means you're able to process things as quickly as they come at you for the most part. Now, a big part of resilience is knowing when you actually do need to step back and take a few moments or a few hours or a few days or a few weeks or in some cases a few months to just be a person and breathe. If you are not scheduling time to just be a person, your resilience is really going to suffer because you don't have those moments of stillness to just, okay, let's take stock. Let's talk about what's important. Let's talk about maybe what's not as important. For me today, what was going on Twitter and people still hate bombing my YouTube channel, that wasn't important. Me doing Black Widow landings in front of her costume display as a sight gag over and over and over multiple takes. That was important. Probably should have stretched more before I did that, but that was important. Landed everyone. But like, that's the thing. And I mean, there's a lot of talk about this in sports right now with Naomi Osaka inspiring Simone Biles to pull out of the Tokyo Olympics because of her mental health. This is all more important than gold medals. Simone Biles has nothing to prove in terms of gold medals. She's doing more in terms of this and in terms of her caring for herself as a person, right? Naomi Osaka, the same. And I like to see this because it lets other people have an example of how to run a marathon and not a sprint in terms of your emotional well-being. When I was younger, because of, the hardcore academics, the pressure to get perfect on everything. I got myself into a cycle of exhausting myself with school and dance and all the extracurriculars I was doing, and then just crashing over, the Christmas holidays. And then I'd run myself ragged again until the end of, the year. And then I'd be useless the whole summer. Like, I'd just be recovering. My sleep schedule got all screwed up. I'd be up all night and sleeping all during the day. And unfortunately, that's what those really intense semestered education systems do. It was insane. I mean, it was 1 to 2 hours of homework per night per subject. And, you had 4 subjects up until like grade 11 or 12. By grade 12 OAC, you had 3. But that's still 6 hours of homework per night, plus all the other stuff I was doing. The system, the world, teaches us to burn ourselves out. And I know for me, one of the first things that goes when I am run down is my ability to emotionally regulate, my ability to just chill, and my ability to make jokes. And nobody comes for my jokes. That's my boundary. I guard that jealously. People start going, it wasn't a joke, you were serious. Bye, Felicia. Like, no. If I say I'm joking, I was joking. Because joking is part of my resiliency. One of the things I do is when something is really tough, if I'm really struggling with something, try to find the joke. Beelzebub is a shining example of something that came out of me being really bothered by something, because Beelzebub is the result of a very personal attack somebody did against me in gaming, called me literally the devil, over something so stupid. This is not even a person who knows me other than a few exchanges and, a few people we know in common. Not well. But for this person to be calling me literally the devil in chat logs that leaked, basically people conspiring to blacklist me, that was real. That can make you very paranoid. And so, the brain starts going, literally the devil, not even figuratively the devil, literally Satan. Like, I am literally Satan. I am Beelzebub. And there it is. And it just so happened my 666 YouTube video was coming up. And the rest is history. But that's a way, I frame things to be able to process things and turn them into positives instead of negatives. I mean, social justice warrior is definitely the embodiment of me never quite fitting. He's a way of me coping with bullying, of never, not feeling like a real girl a lot of the time. Him with, male, different, but same. A lot of the stuff is, not the stuff that people voted on Boss Fight, like those characters, no. But a lot of stuff I do for laughs, a lot of stuff I end up writing is I refuse to let this bother me long term. I refuse to let this beat me. So I am going to find a way to turn it into something that not just makes it seem less serious and painful for me, but also things that other people can enjoy and people can get laughs out of. That to me is taking a shitty experience and making it into, a much better one, something that's a happy experience instead of an unpleasant one. And it doesn't have to be comedy, right? For me, it's comedy. But other people, it can be songs. It can be art. It can be poetry. It can be a video game. It can be a lot of things, even journal writing. Write a story about what happened to you. Nobody has to see it. That's the thing a lot of people don't realize about the creative process. Not everything you work on has to be released. Some things you can just put down because, hey, maybe I'll use it sometime. And then years later, you'll pull it out and go, you know what? Let's go back to this, right? Everybody has something different. Knitting little thought monsters or something like that, whatever. Finding an activity can be very useful in terms of resiliency. I can tie in the exercise thing to this, that exercise does help your resiliency. If you're ruminating on something, ruminate while you're doing something physical. It helps you physically process stress. A lot of people don't realize how much of stress is physical. Notably, how much of post-traumatic stress is physical. The weirdest GDian thing about PTSD for me was I could set my watch to when I'd start feeling anxious at 11:03 every night. That was the exact time that something happened that made me fear for my physical safety in a very real way. And the minute I felt that, eventually, 11:03. It'll be off by a couple minutes sometimes, but it was amazing how it was not conscious. It was the body reenacting the stress. That's how physiological things like depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and a litany of other things. Now, I am not saying it replaces medications. I'm just saying it helps a lot to move, to get up, to do things, to find a way to flush those stress hormones, like sweat them out. Do Black Widow jumps. It does make a lot of difference. Even just getting and shaking it out. If you're not a big exercise person, start by just shaking it out and then stretching, right? Real simple. Just full extensions while you breathe. Shake it out, stretch. Shake it out, stretch. Even that is reestablishing a centeredness to your body and pumping out some of that physical, the physical toll that stress and anxiety and worry and fear and anger and all that stuff is taking on your body. It's a huge part of resilience. But what is going to work for you is something that is very idiosyncratic. The only way you find it is to try different things and then keep a record of anything that made you feel better in a difficult time. And keep that record so when you're feeling terrible about it, you can go back to that document or go back to that notebook or the little thing you stick on your computer monitor and go through the steps. Find something, anything that works. And when it works, do it again and try some other things. And if those work, write them down too and do them again. There are don't do anything dangerous, okay? But other than that, there are no wrong answers. I like to be an idiot, right? Like I just like to goof around and entertain people. You may enjoy something different. You may enjoy quiet, a favorite song, petting your pet, looking up furry porn on the internet. I don't care if it helps you. It helps you. If you feel like sharing, not the furry porn. If you like sharing things that help you, because it might help somebody else, go for it. Also, don't forget, help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/LeannaK. Thanks for watching.